Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. This is a kind of spontaneous video that I am filming now, and I want to talk about the future of humanity and what is happening currently with the energies, because it is concern of mine and it definitely concerns a lot of people, especially light workers and people who are dealing with energies a lot, people who are doing energy work, etc. So the thing is, as I was pulling the cards, I got intuitive messages, but I also decided to use the tarot cards, and the first card that I saw and that I pulled was the devil card. And especially from this deck, it's talking about the toxicity, the being in chains from the malevolent forces, the evil forces, or whatever you want to call them, that are currently occupying this world. And people here are basically in chains. They are bound by the material world, the 3D world, the matrix. All of those words are basically synonymous. And in the future, and I heard in my head 200, 300 years, this is going to change. But please don't think that the devil is gonna give it up without a fight. And again, I would like to make a disclaimer here that when I use terms like the devil or something evil and etc., I definitely do not mean this in a religious way. Rather, I am using words that are acceptable and understandable for everybody out there, but I am not religious person. I have my opinion on religion, so this is a completely different thing. So what is going to happen in the future? And again, I heard 200-300 years. There is going to be definitely a spiritual development within people, but that wave that Dolores Cannon was talking about, the three waves of volunteers. So it's not only going to be those souls, but there are a lot of other souls that are the so-called light workers who have been sent here on this earth to help. I even, like, years and years ago, I received in a meditation my name, that is Protector of Gaia, which is my channel and everything. And I couldn't fully understand what it is until recently. So there are a lot of people out there who has this calling, but what those forces, those evil forces, wants to do is to block you from those gifts so that you cannot awaken to your potential, to your power. This is why also light workers are so sensitive and are, so to say, a victim or fall victim to spiritual warfare and a lot of witchcraft in their entire life. That's the point, basically, for the negative forces. They want to put you off track. But let's not go into this. If you want to know more about this, I'm going to make a video on it. Just tell me in the comments how you feel about that, if you want a video on that topic. Again, next, so this process is going to take a long time, but it has already begun, and it has begun with the spiritual people, the spiritual community, the light workers. And it has begun like a while ago, but sorry, but it took time for people to, we have been awakening in phases. So for example, I have been spiritual as long as I can remember myself, but particular realizations that I had, and changes in my consciousness and in this awakening process has been taken years and years for me as well as for other people. So it cannot happen. It needs to happen gradually. It cannot happen from today and tomorrow. All of us are awakened and we know the truth and we accept the truth and we do something about it. No, if this happens, I can truly tell you that the entire humanity, or the biggest part of it, is going to fall into psychosis. It's not gonna happen, because this has been a part of my journey where I was like, yeah, well, if I know, why don't other people know and understand and do something about everything that is happening? And that is the answer to this question. Everything needs to happen gradually, so that people and their consciousness, their psyche, is ready to receive specific information, specific waves of information, and altering of their consciousness, because you need to um, level up, if you know what I mean, so that you can actually take in the new information and you can work with it. Because, for example, you can also have on a intellectual level, you can understand a lot of things, but if it's not internalized, and if you don't understand it also energetically and with your soul, it's not going to really work out. You cannot do much with that information besides maybe repeating it. But it's a different type and level of understanding of the particular information. So what is going to happen underneath the devil card? 10 of cups. So I definitely see a bright future in a long, long time from this moment. Who knows, maybe 100 years from now, someone is gonna watch this video and be like, hey, she was right. Um, and the direction towards which humanity is going, um, is healing, is spirituality, being connected, working with the energies of the earth, of the elements of nature. Is definitely being connected, and especially this card from this deck. I always have this. I connect this card with medicine woman, medicine men in general, indigenous also cultures. So for me, this means that we are going back to the roots, if I can say so. So we are going to go back to the origins, to where our strength lies, because this is not technology. If technology is being used in the wrong way, and we are walking um in the steps of the gray, if you are familiar with that. And this is not good, and this direction needs to change. And this is why all of that light workers energy, those souls, are being directed towards earth, so that this scenario can be avoided, and so that we can go back actually to the way we are supposed to be, which means connected to Gaia, connected to earth, connected on a completely different level to nature, to the elements, to all of the other spirits that are around us. We are constantly surrounded by nature spirits and by all types of spirits, malevolent, benevolent, etc. But they just exist on a different plane, so to say, from ours. But they're still here, and you can sense them. And being connected to them is what is going to make us human, and what is going to be the next step if humanity wants to go in a positive direction rather than a destructive one, that is, for example, the direction that the Grays went into. Um, if you don't know about that, I highly suggest you, check this information. And if you want me to make a video on it, just let me know in the comments. But what I see is a lot of work. And again, it's 200, 300 years. So I was eager to see in my lifetime a lot of changes, which I do and I will see. But unfortunately, It's going to take much longer. But we are going towards a direction that is really going to be a place where finally the the strife, at least the strife, even if it does not happen within that time frame that I am getting here, is the direction, and the strife is going to be fulfillment, spiritual and material, which also means balance. Because without balance, nothing. Then you have chaos, and chaos is, well, not good, so to say. So the thing is with yin and yang, the black and the white, and the way that this matrix works, it actually, in its original ways of existence, the way that the creator, so to say, made it, it does not look like that. It looks a bit different. But again, we have always had, and we will continue to have duality, so that, and we are always going to strive for balance. And currently, at this moment, what is happening, and why so many people are feeling dizzy, why so many people are feeling that there is a lot of negativity, or literally um, coming from people and places and stuff, is because the so-called evil forces are just are trying to take off that balance, and um basically take over. And this is what we have been seeing for the last, I don't know how many hundreds of years with humanity, that literally those forces have been taken over. And this is the big picture is very wide and very big and very complicated, so that why we are where we are. But on the bright side, there is always the possibility to switch, to change, because human beings, we do have the God particle within us. So we can actually create our reality. So, yes, they might be evil entities, aliens, whatever you want to call them, that are creating the matrix from which they are basically enslaving you and pulling your energy and using you as a battery, etc. Just watch the movie The Matrix. It's based on true story. But you have the power, if you know it consciously and you understand it, to create a matrix, your own matrix within the matrix, which is actually going to help bring down the bad matrix that we are currently living in. Hope you can follow. Um, because everything is physics, everything is quantum physics. It is complicated to understand, but you need to understand that if you want something to happen, you can make it happen. You can create your own matrix within the matrix, where yes, they might be sending you all types of negative stuff, but you're like, no, in my bubble is not working like that. So one of the ways that they can do this to people, and they have been doing it for so long, is TV. Like, you watch the news and it's all about hurricanes, it's all about, sorry, just a second, it's all about negative stuff. And the more people that watch it and think this is true, they are actually manifesting it. And you need to, first step is to understand how they are doing it, how they are manifesting all of the shit that they have been manifesting in this world. And then you can go, and even as one single person, you can do something about it. First thing is going to be not believe what you're watching, not believing, not claiming. And they're telling you there is a big, I don't know, flood. You're like, no, there ain't such thing, because everything that exists in your bubble, you created. It cannot exist without you. This is how strong consciousness is and how this actually works. So everything that exists, you have created. You are the creator of your own reality. So there is a bigger scale and I feel like I need to make a separate video on this, so I'm going to be quick and on the basics, and I will do another video on it. But your bubble within the bubble, and basically that you can also actually understand this with mathematics. So this is so amazing. um if you don't watch the news, if you don't know about this, let's say, flood, it doesn't exist. It does not exist within your reality, and therefore you are not giving your energy in that direction to support that event. Because also the fact that maybe potentially this is a hologram, the universe, this is also a very interesting theory, that maybe is not a theory, but there is so much physics going into this. It's not spirituality. People have been putting the label spiritual, esoteric, occult on things they don't understand, but those things you can actually explain them mathematically. And as me being someone who studied this, I definitely can understand it from a completely different perspective. So what you need to understand is that you are the creator of your reality. And when a lot of different singular creators come together and basically decides that the reality is something different, then this can change. And this is the whole point of sending all of those light workers, those star seeds, those light souls, the three waves of volunteers that came here to earth to rise the frequency and the vibration to change it. This is the whole point of this, because you can actually change it. Because maybe a couple of months ago or a couple of years ago, when I was pulling cards on how humanity is going to do, there were a lot of negative things coming up. Why? Because this has been manifested and created by us, by the humans, with the help of the ones who has created the matrix, because they have been constantly projecting this negative perspective of how the world is, and we have been accepting it. This was probably the sign that I need to stop here, because this video is getting very, very long. But you know what I mean? Uh, Once you start to project a different perspective on how the world is, you can be a part of the bigger picture change within humanity. So, what is going to happen is definitely at this point, from my perspective and the timeline that I am into, I definitely see a lot of positive things that are going to happen, but not without doing the work. So, there is a lot of spiritual work that needs to be done, but there is hope. And within a couple of 100 years, I think it's going to look much, much better, which is great news. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it brought some sort of clarity. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. And if there are any requests for other videos on such topics, write them down in the comments and I will film a video on them. For readings and personal consultations, you can find my email in the pinned comment below. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.